Am I ready? Always ready. Hi guys, welcome back to Benmore CrossFit at Home. Wonderful workout today. Let's zoom in and have a look at it. 21, 15, 9, 4 time. Thrusters, but don't worry, not pull-ups, this isn't Fran, with burpees. RX weight for the guys is 50 kgs, 35 kgs for the girls. So it's heavier, it's supposed to be slightly heavier. How do you attack this one? Well, obviously normal structure, 21 thrusters, 21 burpees, 15 thrusters, 15 burpees, 9 and 9. You just go flat out this one. This is a pure sprint. This one, you're done in, should be done, if you scale it properly, you're done somewhere in 6 to 8 minutes. Thereabouts. If you're an absolute beast, maybe you do it in less than 6 minutes. If you're doing it 15 minutes, 15 minutes and the clock's passed, you're still going, and probably you didn't scale it appropriately. But we'll talk about scaling options at the end. It's a great workout. Okay. The good thing is, the limited equipment version isn't materially different. So rather than doing a barbell thruster, you will do either a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or an odd object thruster, and then burpees. Well, yeah, everyone's just going to do burpees. Let's think about the warm-up really quickly. So 5 minutes of cardio, run, bike, skip, whatever it is that you've got. And then I want you to do 10 air squats, 5 pass-through, and 5 strict press per side. I'm not going to demo these because we've been through them before lots in the last few weeks. Things to think about, just in your strict press, make sure you keep your elbows out in front of you. Make sure that you're not allowing you're keeping tension in your tummy and you're keeping tension in your bum and your legs as you're strict pressing. Dead bug and fire hydrants. I'll just demo the dead bugs just to make sure that we're clear on what those are, along with the fire hydrants. So dead bug looks like this. Lie on the floor, tilt your pelvis up to the ceiling. So there'll be a natural hollow here between the floor and the lower part of your back. Get rid of that by tilting your pelvis up. Lift your legs up, make sure your thighs are no more, don't come past vertical, so they're here at least, and your calves are horizontal, arms are up, and opposite arms and legs work together. Don't put your heel on the ground, and don't put your thumb on the ground. Alternate. Okay, so 20 of these, and then fire hydrants, or the peeing dogs, look like this. Lift your knee out to the side, kick back, and all the way around. Kick back, all the way around. Lift your knee out to the side, kick back, and all the way around. Alrighty. And 30 per side of those. So 20 dead bugs total, 30 per side, fire hydrants for people who think twice. And then we're going to get into our pipe shoulder routine. It's the usual, start off with a lats stretch. Push the pipe away from you as much as you can. Nice flat back, nice flat straight arms. Push the pipe over to the side. So if the right hand is on top, push it over to your left. Switch it around. Same again. Pipe over to the right, push it out as much as you can. Hold it just for 30 seconds. And then 10 pipe pass-throughs followed by 10 round the world one way and 10 round the world the other way. Okay, so should be pretty good in terms of being warmed up. Having done all of that. Let's think about the main drills for today are going to be our thruster, okay? And I'll just talk through them and then I'll demo them. So we're going to drill our push press, we're going to drill our front squat, and then we'll drill our thruster. And if you're working with the barbell, you'll add weight in 2 sets of 5 to get up to your working weight. Now, if you are doing this with I'm going to demo this actually with a kettlebell. It's exactly the same movement if you're working with the bar. It's exactly the same movement if you're working with a dumbbell or an odd object. But just for the sake of mixing it up a little bit. Okay, so our push press, we take the weight onto our shoulder, and the most important parts of the push press are, you initiate with a slight dip, so not a massive dip, just like a little quarter squat. You then explode out of that, and then you'll feel the weight start to come off your shoulder, and at that point you push the weight up. So it looks like this. So the power starts here, comes through my hips, up my body. Okay, and that's how you should think about it. You should think about it as kind of a ricochet, and I keep saying that's like a ricochet effect. Don't be doing this. That's not it. Dip, drive. Dip, drive. The phrase is fall like a stone, rise like a rock. Okay, so push press. Practice 2 sets of 10. If you're working with an odd object, make sure you do both sides. And then our front squat. Elbows stay out in front of us. Big proud chest. Start the movement from your hips. So your bum goes back. And stand up. If you're working with the barbell, just make sure your elbows stay up, nice and upright the whole time, and that your chest is good, big and proud the whole time. Okay, and then the thruster puts the two movements together. So it starts with the front squat and ends in push press. So squat, push press, squat, push press. And the two things are almost, you can almost think of them as being like independent of each other. So don't start with push press until you stood up in the squat. So sometimes you see people going sort of here and starting to push up. Wait until your hips are fully open before you start to push the weight over your head. So again. So, as the main drills for today is drilling the thruster, getting the timing of the transition from the front squat into the push press. If you're working with a fixed weight object, and that's all you've got, that's all you've got, great. If you are working with a fixed weight object, make sure that you're doing in your warm-ups, you're doing equal amounts on either side. Now in the workout, you're not going to double up and do 42, 30, 18. You're just going to do 21, 15, 9. And if you happen to have a very light weight, and again, that's all you've got, just batter through it. Just go as fast as you can. And if that means that you finish in 3 minutes, that's fantastic. For those of you who are working with the barbell, I want you to add weight in no more than 2 sets. So do a set of 5, do another set of 5, and you should be good to go, because this weight isn't particularly heavy. Okay. And then regardless of what you're using for your weight, do a quick test of 2 sets, 5 reps each of thrusters and burpees. They're not burpees over a bar, they're just burpees on the spot, so you just go up and down. See how that feels. Now, if that feels like the thrusters feel far too heavy, let's think about scaling options. Can you do a minimum of 7 unbroken thrusters at your weight? If you can, fantastic. If you're doing like 3, 4, it's too heavy. Drop the weight down and aim for that as a minimum target. Now, ideally you'd want to do your 21 completely unbroken, but that's kind of maybe it's probably not for most of us. But a minimum 7 unbroken. If your burpees are causing you a problem, if you've got sore shoulders or sore hips or something like that, scale them down to down ups. Okay, and we've talked about those before. If you're not clear on what that is, just give me a shout. I would actually, if you're unsure about the weight, I would play around with going heavier here in the test, and then dropping it back for the workout. So that's what we did. We found that I dropped mine back by 5 kilos after having done the test. I dropped it back by 5 kilos, and I found I was able to fly through the workout. It's great. So try that as well. To give how that works is your body it thinks something really heavy is coming, and then it's all geared up and it's lighter, and you can just fly. So it's a bit of a way of tricking your nervous system into being prepared for slightly heavier weight. So that's something to think about as well. Anyway, Sarah, thoughts and comments from behind the camera?
I don't know. Don't know if I do have any.
So I was, the purpose of this workout is to sprint. The purpose of this workout is to really test your ability to move a little bit of weight under quite an extreme amount of fatigue. It should be really sharp, it should be really intense. There's a very similar workout for those of you who are CrossFit aficionados, and that's Fran. Is this easier or harder than Fran?
Felt harder.
This felt a little bit harder. I mean, it's a little
up and down off the ground with the burpees.
Getting up and down off the ground with the burpees. So this wasn't a thruster workout for me, this was a burpee workout. I just was really just chugging away through the burpees. Thrusters were fine, burpees not so much. Anyway, it's a great workout. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.